welcome back to Between Taorminas, where now we will talk about football. Because it's already that time of year where training camps are starting now. The Lions start next week. And are we feeling positive about our team? Of course.
Me. I'm excited about the Dallas Cowboys. I am very, very excited about how Jeff Heath is going to do at the camp. I'm excited about how Des Bryant, how Tony Romo. I think Dallas is going to win the NFC East, hands down.
I hope we get another shot at those suckers.
I hope. No, you won't get another shot at those suckers. You won't even make the playoffs. Here's why.
I won't?
No, the
What
Lions
about you?
won't.
Who's your team?
My team? It's easy. The Dallas Cowboys. I love the Metroplex. You look at this here. Here's why the Lions ain't going to win. Fedora from the Here's why the Lions ain't going to win. Because, 1, they don't have a defense. 2, Ndamukong Suh is gone. 3, Matt Stafford's going to choke under pressure again. And they're going to beat Green Bay twice. I disagree. I think the Lions will beat Green Bay, at least at Ford Field. I don't know if it'll be at Lambeau, but I think that the Lions are better than the Bears.
Let's hope.
The Lions, the Vikings, if you look at it, it's really an Adrian Peterson show in Minnesota.
Well, they got a decent team these days.
So, but Green Bay's still the team to beat in the NFC North.
Right.
And
the Lions
it's going
don't have
to be
a shot
that way for a long, long time. The reality of it is, if for the Lions to be successful, you got to beat Green Bay. And I have not seen that happen yet in terms of the division title, even though they were close last year. They still did not get the job done. Now, anyways, there is a lot of pressure on Matt Stafford to get the job done, because if he does not get the job done, there's going to be a lot more boo birds at Ford Field. And do you really want to go back to the era of the paper bag? And of course, the Lions are going to be drafting their quarterback next year. Yeah. You think? And of course,
you boys leave me without speech.
You got Calvin Johnson. You got Calvin Johnson, who is one of the great talents. That's one of the great wide receivers to play in the NFL. He was fully healthy this year.
What's going on? Are you distracted?
He was fully healthy this year.
No, he wasn't.
For the most part, he was.
He missed a lot of games.
For the most part, he was. So, but the question is, does the Lions have depth at the wide? Does they have the more depth at wide receiver position? And you got to wonder with the defense. The defense was very, very good last year, but it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. No, Ndamukong Suh is going to help. It's going to help. One player did not personify an entire defense, or 2 players.
Guys,
Fairly, Sue.
It's simple. Matthew Stafford has to be a good quarterback for the Lions to do anything.
Are you sure he's a good quarterback?
I don't know. I wish he would just tell us already. He's got good moments.
Well, he's not Aaron Rodgers.
He's not Aaron Rodgers.
The Lions are like this team that when they get down and then until the last 3 minutes of the game, they come back and steal the game from you. It seems like they do it to every team, whether it be decent or mediocre.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that the same thing?
Decent, mediocre. Decent's better than mediocre, Spoonhead.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
And then, of course, let's look at it here from your perspective. They are not going to win the NFC North because, 1, Green Bay's absolutely better. 2, I don't know if they'll even pass Minnesota again. I think it's the 3rd-place team in that division will make the playoffs.
Why? Didn't you think they did well last year?
Because of who they lost.
Listen, guys, let's look at sports, and let's look at who wins the offseason versus who wins the regular season. Remember what happened where we were back in March?
Yep.
Remember you thought the White Sox were going to be good?
Yeah.
Because they added Jeff Samardzija and David Robertson.
Yep.
And Melky Cabrera.
Yep.
Oh, the White Sox. They won the offseason. What about the Padres? Oh, they added everybody. Now look what they're doing with all those added pieces.
They're selling them.
Shopping them.
They're gonna try to get
them out of town.
Don't worry, they'll get a good minor league system, and then they're gonna be a good.
But
hey,
my point is, whether you win or lose, or if some idiot gives you an A or an F for your off-season moves, really doesn't matter.
We all know Mel Kiper's an idiot, but
sure.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you two agree on that.
I think the Lions. I think they got to get past being the Lions, and that is gonna really tell us a lot this year.
They need to change identity, change in culture.
Did they not get that with Jim Caldwell?
Yeah, but no, I'm not saying it. They need to change colors, they need to change jerseys, they need to change everything.
And then they can win?
Jim Caldwell. They have a system in place.
Mm-hmm.
But
you don't agree that system is a winning system?
That they need to change the colors and the traditions.
If they make the playoffs this year, yes, it's a winning system. But if they don't make the playoffs this year, it's going to be considered a fluke. Another fluke year.
I can agree with that. I think they have to win a playoff game, though.
Right. They have to make the playoffs. They have to win a playoff game. For this system to be successful, you're right. They do have to win a playoff game. It's just, I don't know if I can see that. I mean, the Lions have got to get by Minnesota. They got to get by Chicago. Got to get by Green Bay. Then that schedule's not exactly easy.
You're playing AFC West. You're playing Denver, San Diego, Kansas City.
Are you scared of any of those teams, though? I'm not.
Denver.
Jamal Charles is an inspiration, as we'll talk about next topic.
I think Denver might take a step back.
No.
Okay.
I think the Dallas Cowboys will win the NFC East.
Agreed.
I think Dallas Cowboy fans should not be allowed on the show anymore. We'll be back. What?
Hello, Lake Orion. It's Anthony Taormina, co-host of Between Taorminas. I want to let you know of a new show called History Now. In it, we're going to talk about global, national, and political events that occur in our lifetime. We're going to also have guests and also have co-hosts as well, and also plenty of surprises. Catch us on History Now here on ONTV.
Hello, Lake Orion and Oakland County. This is Sammy Taormina here, talking a new show here called OA Now. We're going to talk about sports from football to basketball to volleyball to track and field to soccer, cross country, etc. here on OA Now on ONTV.
Hey! Welcome back. Ant?
You know, there was something special that's happening this week. The competition started on Sunday, and it's going to last till Tuesday. Special Olympics Summer Games 2015. It's an awesome event in Los Angeles, California. They're having it throughout Los Angeles area at USC, UCLA, and other areas in the Los Angeles area. It's a great It's a great thing. It's a great you know, we watched the opening ceremonies. Me and Sam watched it while we were up in the summer home, and it was very, you know, it brought back a lot of memories because me and you, Sam and Ian too, we played Special Olympics unified basketball, and one of the big things that they often talked about was inclusion, the ability to include those with intellectual disabilities with society and sports and, you know, in life. And it was exciting. I really enjoyed watching the opening ceremony on TV, watching all those teams, bring all those representatives. The United States has got about almost 500 representatives, the biggest delegation. It's a very exciting summer games. It brings people together. A lot of celebrities have supported Special Olympics and continue to. Ulysses Kennedy Shriver, the founder of Special Olympics, though she is not here, she's up in heaven looking down, and she had to be smiling on Saturday with watching all the events. I mean, it's watching all the events that happened, and it's an unbelievable feeling.
It's kind of interesting when you look at it from this perspective. I mean, these are kids that have very difficult
Young men and women.
Young men and women.
These are age 8 to from age 8 to about.
But
75.
I was impressed with how many countries were there. Like they brought. What I mean. It's such a cultural phenomenon that Special Olympics has all over the world, and to see other countries from like Iran, Iraq, Syria, Great Britain, France, Germany, Israel, Palestine.
Spain.
You know what I mean? Like all these countries bring in representatives. I mean,
coming together.
And one thing that really touched me was during the fire ceremony. During that ceremony, was a girl from Iran giving the flame to a guy from Israel. You know what I mean? And Israel and Iran
doesn't recognize Israel.
Yeah, they've had a lot of issues.
They don't like each other.
They don't like each other. I mean, so I think that tells me that they're trying to unify. You know what I mean? Like they're bringing a lot of unity in here. I'm a little surprised with the celebrities, though. I was enraged that Bieber was there. I was representing Canada.
Boo.
Yeah, he needs to. I'll send him to Texas, and then he'll really get beaten up. But I think that would be to all these celebrities helping out. You know what I mean? Like especially I was surprised at some of these cultures. You know what I mean? That they were all dancing to the music and all that. I was kind of surprised about that. It didn't even look that impressive, the music. Stevie Wonder was there. You know what I mean?
Stevie Wonder was good. Avril Lavigne, big time donor to Special Olympics, was there. She sang her song "Fly," which is in many ways a tribute to Special Olympics. You look at in terms of the celebrities that help out with Special Olympics.
Jamal Charles.
Yeah, Jamal Charles. I brought him up. You know that Jamal Charles has an intellectual disability, and he participated in Special Olympics, and then he went to college.
I think he was at Texas.
And then he went, and now he's playing it in the NFL in Kansas City. So I mean, you look at Special Olympics has done a lot of good for athletes, and it's awesome to see these young men and women compete, men and women, or whether from age 8 to about 80 years old. And the Special Olympics quote, "Let me win, but if I cannot win, at least let me be successful in my attempt." It's truly it's truly special, and you see it whether in Special Olympic athlete sports or in Special Olympic unified sports, like we were in Special Olympics unified basketball. It's truly a very, very special thing because the biggest picture of it is about together and family and and team and unity. And looking back, I look back at my those years, 05, 06, 07 too. But I mean, you look back, and then those were all like family together team. Guys who have disabilities interacting with those who didn't have disabilities, and it's a very, very special feeling to have.
You look at it here. I mean, like Special Olympic athletes can play with other normal. Other normal athletes. I mean, but it's very interesting, with the games. Being in LA. At the Coliseum, and of course they're using both UCLA and USC's campuses for room and board for the athletes and the events. So it's very interesting. And for one reason, I was surprised that was Michelle Obama there.
She was the one that was basically saying, "Let the games begin." You know my political views about Michelle Obama, but I mean, they asked her to come and she accepted. So I do think that the Special Olympics was not just a Democratic thing, but it was also a Republican thing as well. Republican George W. Bush signed the Special Olympic Act in 2004, which allowed for funding for Special Olympics, and it was unanimously approved in both Congresses, Republican and Democrat. So, it's just a nice thing to have. And Special Olympics truly is a unifier when it comes for countries to come together and to and share and celebrate global unity throughout the world. And it's and you can't be any more prouder of those athletes, whether they're in the games or even not in the games, because there's a lot of people out there that have intellectual disabilities, you and I included, Sam, and to see them having fun, succeeding. I said this on my Facebook. I said that if I was given the chance to coach Special Olympics shot put, I'd definitely do it in a heartbeat, because I've had the chance to. There's a few kids I coached at Walden that had intellectual disabilities, and and they were a joy to coach, and I would definitely coach them if given the opportunity or if asked to.
Would you make your athletes call me by names other than the one my mom gave me?
Well, you got Catman or even Ian Cosby.
Oh! Well, with
Do
the
not
cat.
throw me in with that psycho.
Well,
Sick
I
man.
mean, with you, Ian, it's with Catman, it's you brought that upon yourself. The Cosby thing, no. All right,
Goodbye, everybody.